So in Unreal Engine, to test our game, we just need to click this little green button here. And if we press this button, we are inside this level. We can look around, all right, but we can fly. We can do some weird stuff that we don't want to do. And why is that? It is really simple because we are not playing as our BP player yet. Let me show you. If I go to level testing, I hit play. On the right side, you can see, let me just hide the sliding folder. We have default pawn 0, which is a default pawn in Unreal Engine. That's why we can fly and do all of that stuff. How do we assign our player then to this level? Let me show you how it's done. It is done through game mode. So let's create one and let's see how it works. We can go to content drawer and go one folder back to our main folder, and I will just create a new folder called framework. Okay, I will also set its color to blue because of blueprints, but you can do whatever you want with these colors. Let's go into this framework folder and we will create two new blueprint from two new blueprint classes. Let's right click, create blueprint class, and now we want to use player controller and game mode base. Basically, player controller isn't that important. We can actually use our player without this player controller, but I always create this player controller to make sure it is correctly assigned to our player, and then we can proceed. I know it doesn't make probably sense right now, but I will show you what I mean in a second. This game mode base is more important because game mode is like a blueprint that stores pretty important values. For example, what player controller to use, which player character to use, and then we assign this game mode to our level, and every player controller character and whatever you want will be assigned to this level as well. So let's create player controller first. I will just call it BP underscore player controller. Oh, player controller, like this. Okay, and now let's create this blueprint game mode base. So BP game mode, the naming doesn't matter that much. So now if we have game mode, player controller, and our player blueprint, we can open up BP game mode. And on the right side, in this details panel, we have some classes to assign. For example, player controller class. We can just assign our BP player controller that we just created. And same with default pawn class. We can change this to BP player. Okay, so now if we assign this game mode to our level, this level will know that we want to use this player controller and we want to spawn as this BP player. So how do we assign this game mode? We can actually close this game mode, we won't use it again, and we can go back to our level testing. And on the right side in world settings, we have game mode override. So we can just select our game mode and we should be good to go. Let's see. If I press play and I click to go into this character, you can see I cannot move, I cannot look around, I can't do anything. And that's because we're playing as BP player, which is this blueprint right here. But if we will create a new level, then we will have to assign this game mode again. If we'll create a third level, we will have to assign it again. So isn't there any option to assign this to every new level? It is. Let me show you where it's located. If we go to edit, project settings, we go back to maps and modes. This is where we change the startup map, as you remember. And right over here, we have the default game mode. We can just change this to BP game mode. So now every new level that we create will have this BP game mode assigned. So now we can close these project settings and that's pretty much it. And now we're ready to work inside our player character.